server that he is intentionally not playing in tournaments. Hero, he's not playing in online events. He is keeping his builds secret, keeping them safe. He is practicing very, very hard for Esports World Cup. That is why Hero has been absent for the past couple of weeks in KSL, ESL Asia, Kung Fu Cup, in all these big events. He's been hiding his builds, hiding. But here we go, we have our quarterfinals match, and if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Best of luck, place your bets on how things will unfold. In the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Vitality. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. We go. We are going to be settling in, and again, Trap has been a beast in this matchup. He's been insane insane in these TVPs, PVZs, and we'll see if that reign of dominance continues or if Solar can fight back. We shall see. Again, the current victims this week from Trap include Shin and Dark. He was able to 2-0 Dark. He was able to 2-0 Shin. Trap took down many a Korean Zerg player, but Trap and Solar, they miss each other. They did miss each other this week, and now they're finally facing off in KSL. So we'll see if Solar can do what Dark and Shin could not. We shall see. As for now, we are going to be poking in across the map, keeping tabs here on Solar, forcing the unnatural natural. Meanwhile, Trap going for a standard opener himself. He is opening up in a standard fashion. When it comes to Solar's ZvP as well, he has been quite mid-game, I was going to say quite mid-game, oriented. In a sense, that's true. We've seen a lot of aggression. We've seen a lot of all-ins from Solar, but that could just be map dependent. I'm referring to his WTL matches. We had a lot of games on maps like Dynasty and Post Youth and more unorthodox maps, and it was on those maps where Solar was embracing a more aggressive and chaotic style. But again, I do feel like that's probably most likely map dependent. On a map like Alkyone, should be a standard setup. Standard setup and a standard game. As Link speed is on the way, third base being taken. Solar pulling out of gas, not going for any kind of early lair or early gas timing. And we'll see if Solar can keep up with the Oracle harass of Trap. We've seen him pop off with these Oracles. We've seen him pop off, we've seen him get an insane amount of damage. But likewise, we've also seen Rex keep up as well. So I do want to believe there's going to be Adepts on the ground initially. Our Adepts moving out. Also, this is a really annoying position for the probe. Being quite cheeky. Does mean that like a stray Ling won't be able to touch this, for example. Here we go. I say a stray Ling. Lings in general won't be able to touch that probe. For those who are curious, because the probe is in the fog of war, or is in the gas vent there, it actually can't be attacked. You need vision, you need high ground vision to kill it, and you actually can't take control of the Zolnaga with these Lings, just because the probe is close enough to contest against it. So you can see here, like, you can't touch it. Oh, the whole position! Oh my god. Whew. Hey, we get it. The probe does go down. Nicely done. It looked like the probe was a little bit off-center. Usually you try to fully wall off there, but do shut it down. Meanwhile, across the map, the Adepts, they get 3 drone kills. Not bad. 3 workers, 4 workers even. 4 workers go down, but here come the Oracles. So far, an interesting trade. I mean, Adepts, they do trade well, getting 4 drones for just 2 Adepts. Oracles, they dip in. Queens are in position, and the spawn not quite done. We go in nonetheless. Yeah, we ignore the Tweens. We get 6 drone kills all up, but oh no! Another Queen comes in to reinforce, and we do knock down one of those Oracles. That was 2 Adepts and 1 Oracle for 9 drones. It was good damage, yes, but bleeding out one of these Oracles is quite impactful, actually. Tells me that Solar has that much less to worry about. More importantly, that means that there's that much less support for the eventual blink timing. So bleeding out an Oracle early on is a little bit brutal. Thankfully, we have a third Oracle on the way, but again, we're still down an Oracle. Adept's going to be threatening a Shade. There's that 4 gateway explosion. It's the same build. It is, oh, actually, never mind. It's a similar setup. If you remember, in the previous games against Rex, Trap would get into an 8 gate timing, both in game 1 and in game 2. Here, that is not the case. Oh my god, as we get another 5 drone kills here at the third. Oracles this time will get away. But Trap is taking a much more passive approach, getting up to 6 gates instead, which is enough for map control, yes, but I don't think it's quite enough to knock down the 4th. This Trap is building up, working towards +1 and blink, only staying on 6 gateways. And as a result, he may opt to tech up a little bit faster, a little bit further instead. I'm referring to, a Bay, even a second Robo, Temple Archives. Robo is on the way. But much later this time here for Trap. Settling into our game, Oracle, they dip in, they get another 3 drone kills. Oh, that's going to be 17 workers in total. This is very quickly racking up. 17 drone kills so far. And again, Trap may not be as aggressive and as assertive here in the follow-up, but he does have a nice lead. Trap is looking quite comfortable here. Me, Spire? Okay. And I just assumed it was going to be a Hydrogen, but no, we have a Spire thrown down for Solar. Okay, Pappy, let's go. Bold move. Trap is going to be moving out. He's going to be applying some pressure. With this move out, this time there's no Prism. There's no way to reinforce. What you see is what you get. We do focus on one of the Oracles, but the goal here is to shut down the 4th base. We'll see if we can. Oh, the force fields. Yeah, we force field the ramp. Lings are denied, and we will deny the 4th. That is going to be a cancel. Ooh. Yeah, the base is canceled. We recall the hell out of here. We do get back home. And again, a big reason why this was so successful, we were cutting roaches. Why were we cutting roaches? For the Spire, right? For the mutas. We were trying to preserve our resources for those mutas. Alas, we were caught with our pants down. And Solar's 4th was denied. So a big win for Trap. But what I will say... Oh, we scattered. Never mind. I was going to say, what I will say, we haven't seen the Spire. We have. Now, the question becomes, did we click on the Spire? Because I don't think we have. No static defense here in the main, no static defense in the natural. We do have a shield battery here at the third, but that's more of a precaution more than anything. So these mutas have potential. Now, Trap is applying pressure. He's moving out. Yeah, and 100% we haven't seen the Spire because otherwise we'd have Phoenixes on the way. Phoenixes, cannons would be more assertive or take a more defensive stance. So despite his unit seeing the Spire, he's not fully aware of what he saw. So these mutas can pop off. We have Lings on the right, we have Ling Roach on the left. Mutas, where exactly are they? Hugging the edge of the map, moving out. Oracle was forced back. And Trap's attention is being kept back at home. We're going for the cancel. Oh! That's a kill! That's a kill, not a cancel. 400 minerals down the drain. At the same time, mutas, they hit the natural base. Now we throw down cannons. Now we throw down shield batteries, but it's too little too late. Probes are going down. Even going toe-to-toe with the Stalkers. A bold move here by Solar, but he will get 9 probe kills, and even more than that. Oh my god, we stick around! 16! An entire mineral line falls. That was 16 workers, but how many for 3 mutas? That was worth it. Well worth it for Solar. Only losing 3 mutas. And the mutas, they back off, they rotate around, they can go back in. Trap's still exposed here on these bases, being very greedy here in his response. Now we have Phoenixes on the way. Again, now we realize that it is mutas. And there's the shield batteries, there's the cannons in production. But Solar suddenly has map control. Catching the Oracle, nicely done. Ooh, bleeding out 1 muta, but he does avoid those revelations. Meanwhile, 4th base still not up and running. Remember, it was killed earlier. And Solar, he wants that base. He wants that Nexus. Storm is not done. No Archons either. We collapse on the High Templar. And Templar going to be going down. We focus on the Colossus as well. Massive pickup. And the Mutas, they're getting out of hand. They get the Colossus. They focus on the Immortals. The Archons as well, just barely. And from here, the Mutas, they can just go into the main. They can just dive into the main base. We once again cancel the fourth. Phoenixes are in position. Oh! Trying to catch the Phoenixes. We get one. We get one. We get two. We get three as well. All three Phoenixes go down. We depower the Stargate. The Ling Roach of the Ground Army does back up, but the Mutas are not done. Not enough to defend. And Solar, he's getting out of hand. He's getting out of control. It's always risky going into Mutas. Again, if we had realized what we had scouted, if we had realized what was going on, then Trap would have shut this down. But early on, it was 16 probe kills. Solar, the Mutas, they paid for themselves already. And then they've gotten out of hand. They've gotten out of control. Trap racing back. He tried to push in. Alas, he was deflected. The wall's not a wall. Yeah, Lings, they flood into the natural. We do force a recall, but we're not turning back. We can just fight this head on. Oh my god, that was some big Archon volleys, but GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Solar will take lead, but again, really risky to embrace the Mutas like that. Honestly, if Mutas get scattered, the Spire gets scattered, they have a really hard time getting damage done. They have a really hard time paying for themselves. Alas, Trap was caught with what? With his pants down, Papi. They were down. And Solar takes a lead. GG. So we are settling in. Let me guess, it's built to involve reckless use of oracles followed by a terrible late game? No, not at all. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about max packs? Bane Glory. Calm down. Esther Bane. Animal, Papi, animal. As we are settling in to our ZvP. Are settling in. As we're getting into game 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ghost River, we have our South Korean Zerg player, our Red Zerg representing Team Vitality. It is Solar. And in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent down in the series, looking to bounce back. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. We go. As I'm curious how this is going to play out. Okay, so we're loading into Ghost River. It is going to be a really much more aggressive game, typically on a much smaller map like this. I spoke earlier about Solar. Oh, speaking of aggression. Hello, Solar. Where are we going? I was going to say that when we load into these more unorthodox maps, like Dynasty, like Post-Youth, like Ghost River, that's where Solar clowns it up. That's where Solar, he turns up the aggression. He does decide to do his best dark impression, and the drone has arrived. The hatch block is here. So we go for the hatch block. The goal here is to delay mining, is to force the boys off the mineral line, to force a reaction. Second gateway's on the way. Cybercore is delayed. Tech is delayed. Nexus is delayed. All thanks to the hatchery. So Solar going to be disrupting his opponent. It does expand on location as well. Much safer location here for that hatchery. And he's forcing Trap to dance to his music instead. So again, I feel like for a long time, Solar was known for being a little bit more vanilla in a way. Like Solar was known for being very macro, very tried and true and proper. That has been changing over the past, I would say, month. Over the past month of play, maybe more than a month. Maybe a couple of months at this point. Where Solar has been hyper aggressive and just hyper cheesy if given the opportunity. Again, it does feel very map dependent. At least from the outside looking in. As we go for the hatch block into the Evo chamber as well, delaying the expansion even further. Let's go. As the drone is still up and running, still can go for the gas steal on the main. Or can we go for the gas? Is Trap ready for it? He is. Yeah, the probe is in position with that whole position micro. Yeah, the gas geyser is denied. Solar once again just being as annoying as he can be. Lings are on the way. That's going to be quite an amount of Lings here. Adepts, they do shade in. Ooh, so far, quick moves here out of Solar. Morphs in the Gas, the Eva Chamber, and the Spore as well. The 1-1-1. Let's go. Does preserve his workers, but we still have to defend here against that counterattack. Lings are in position. We do shut down the initial Adepts. We do force them back. Queens are on the way as well. We do get us around. One Adept will fall. The other does get into the middle line. Up! Ooh, one drone goes down. Good pick up. Second drone as well. Pretty good damage. I mean, I say pretty good damage. That was 2 drones for 2 Adepts. Not the best trade for Trap, true. But the reality is that this early on, every worker kill does count. Like, Solo only has 19 drones, so losing 1 or 2 workers is quite impactful. Behind this, we're following it up with additional Adepts, and that, ooh, is Glaives. That's going to be Glaive Adepts here for Trap. Aye. We spoke about it. He did use Glaives to defeat Dark earlier this week. Same with Shin. I was keeping an eye out for Glaives throughout today, honestly, when it comes to watching Trap's games, and he hasn't embraced it yet until now. I mean, I'm making an assumption here. We are still 3-3 in gas. This could be a DT opener instead. We'll see. We shall see. Oh, never mind. As Glaives has begun, and we should be seeing additional gateways. Is going to be the setup for, I imagine, 4-gate Glaive Adepts. And Glaives have been quite trendy. They've been quite trendy amongst the Korean players. The Korean player base. For good reason. It's been working quite well. We get 1 more drone in the main. Trading 1 for 1. Gateways are in production. And we'll see how Solar does respond and how he does scout. We do have a safety Roach Warren on the way, so thankfully the Roach Warren will finish up in time to get Roaches in play, but it's still going to be a tight hold for Solar. Oh boy. Still going to be a tight hold. As we are massing up Lings, Solar cutting workers just under 40 at 37. Taking this very seriously. As Adepts move out, the Prism about to reveal itself as well, confirming Solar's suspicions that it is not going to be a Stargate opener. Roaches immediately are on the way. We're squeezing out a couple of drones, but we are massing Roaches. Lings ideally get to surround these Adepts as well. It's going to be Glaives plus a Dark Shrine. That explains the gas. That does explain the extra gas. So Glaive Adepts into DTs. ¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both? As Adepts are moving out. This does mean that our goal here is to just apply some pressure and not necessarily go for the kill. We do commit to the shade though. Uh-oh. We get surrounded. That was a little bit misguided here from Trap. He's going to bleed out so many Adepts. Adepts are going down at the same time. Ravagers are keeping up. We're going to try and split up our Adepts, but last we will be shut down, getting only 3 drone kills. And just like that, the aggression has subsided. We have a Spore at the 3rd. We have a Spore at the natural. And a Spore on the way in the main. The Biles! Ooh. We knocked down the Prism. The Spore in the main is not done yet. It is not quite done. We get 5 drone kills. Nice hold position micro there with those DTs. This is getting a bit out of hand. As the Spore does reposition, DT waddles into the natural. 8 drone kills. Good damage. So far, so good. And back at home, Trap is expanding. The downside is the army, right? Trap is lacking an army to work with. He lost all of his Adepts. He's losing all of his DTs. Can he protect this 3rd base? Can he save it from the Lings? With good SimCity, we can. Yeah, we can. We do pull away. And again, our SimCity is looking solid enough. Lings catching some probes. Catch a couple of workers. Request Solo going to be forced back, and the game will continue. The game will progress. Solo, he's droning. Trap is getting his 3rd. Whew, and the aggression will subside. Aggression will subside here. both players are going to be building up. We have +1, we have Blink on the way on the horizon here for Trap to get into, you know, a more solid, a more robust mid-game composition. Likewise, Solar is droning and getting into his own Ling Roach Ravager. Yet to throw down any further tech. We don't really have the economy yet to work towards Hydras and work towards a Hive. But we're getting there. We are getting there. So after a very intense start of the game, we're calming things down. Now what I'm concerned about here, which Solar has to confirm, is whether or not Trap goes for a 2-base all-in. Trap has yet to embrace extra gases. He is working on +1, that is true, but this could still just be a +1 timing here for Trap. So Solar has to be wary. Here we go, we're going in for the scout. Gases, okay, now are being taken. Taking extra gases, which means Trap may opt to go for a 4th. Okay, now working towards charge. So it seems like we're working towards a longer game. At the same time, we do have Trap threatening the natural. We have our Adepts. Keeping tabs with Solar. Likewise, Solar confirms the lack of additional tech. Temple Archives now being thrown down alongside the 4th base. Again, we saw the gases, so that was the first sign of the 4th. So Trap is settling in. And Solar going into Swarm Host. Okay, really good read. I was going to say that Swarm Host does well, not against Blink Stalkers, but against Charger Archon. And that's what we're working on. We are working on that composition. Solar able to read this well with the lower gateway count, I imagine. And Swarm Jose's strength does rely on your opponent having a little bit less maneuverability. And likewise on this map, yo, this is a beautiful position here to just lay siege upon the natural. Well, the Prism does get shut down. Yeah, the Prism does fall, but I believe we did, yeah, we have confirmed the Swarm Host. Trap is aware, and Trap is getting ready, rotating over. Cannon shield batteries on the way. Lings will hit the south, Swarm Host will hit the north, and yeah, Trap, he knows he's getting in position. Getting in position at the natural. Locust Wave is coming in, and is going to be completely shut down. At the same time, DT's getting 13 drones across the map. Yeah, the Waves does nothing. Lings, they hit the 4th, but yeah, we already have cannons and shield batteries. Lings, they do nothing as well. A very solid response here by Trap. He cripples the economy. He maintains his own. And Solar's looking pretty committed. Look at Solar's drone count. He's maxed out. He's maxed out on, what, 3-base saturation? Very aggressive here by Solar. And his Swarm Hosts have yet to pay for themselves. Storm is done. Storm's going to be thrown down, and Roach Ravager trying to dive in. But the Lings are cleaned up. Another Locust Wave making its way over. Oh, it's on a move! Yeah, it does engage with the main army. Takes down a Stalker. Takes down 2. Meanwhile, Roach Ravager is gaining ground. Oh, but the Immortals are in position, and we won't be able to break through. Yeah, the Immortals, they hold the line. It looks like Trap did end up bleeding out some Stalkers and Adepts, but honestly, minimal losses here for Trap. Solar's getting ready for another wave, and Solar still has barely droned up, but is taking into a Lurker Den. So he realizes that like this army doesn't really have a lot of longevity. He's trying to get out of it. While sending back some of those Stalkers. Locust Wave into the natural. This time will get into the natural itself. And we're going to be able to focus on the shield batteries. And maybe even the Nexus is going to be close. Up! Oh, can we get it? It's going to be so close here, and barely it looks like it will go down. The Nexus does fall. Oof. Very close, very clutch. As pushing back the main army. Massive storm on the Roach Ravager. Does catch a free Immortal, not bad. Not a bad pickup here from Solar. Do have another Locust Wave coming in. I mean, again, got the Nexus and can force another cancel. Just contain Trap here to 3 bases. That's going to be the plan. Oh, Massive Storm, though. Massive Storm does connect, but it doesn't matter. We force the cancel. Trap denied the expansion time and time again. Soul just keeping up with the army. Trading against the Stalkers, and Trap, he's had enough. At this point, he's had enough. He's frustrated. He doesn't want to defend anymore. He wants to attack. Oh, catches the Ravagers. Actually, massive pickups. Roach's Ravagers are going down. Back at him. Do we have any Lurkers? The answer is no. 0 Lurkers to defend. We have the Lurker Den. We have upgrades on the way, but no Lurkers yet. We need that defensive Locust Wave. Storm of the Hydras. Massive Storm of the Hydras. Oof. Zone it back. Locust Wave coming in. Once again, another Storm. And I worry here that Trap has too much. Yeah, we poke the bear, pushing up the ramp. Do you have a concave of Hydras? No more Storms! No more Storms! We have the concave in with these reinforcements. It looks like Solar, he barely has enough. It's going to be close. With the Locust Wave, we can pull this off. And we force back the army. We catch out the Immortals. We catch out the Archons. And Trap loses everything again. It was a very clutch hold, barely, without any Lurkers. With purely Locusts, Roaches, and Hydras. Solo does hold, catches out the Immortal, doesn't recall back home. And Trap was all in. Honestly, Trap was pretty committed here to that attack. And back at home, he's stuck on a 3-base saturation. His natural base still very exposed. No more High Templar, barely any Immortals. Here comes that Locust Wave. And we may as well just trade it with the army. Nice juggling. Nice juggling here, but we focus on the static defense. A good trade nonetheless for Solar. And now we can embrace the Hive Tech Lurkers. The upgrades are done, +3s on the way. And Solo, we can double down, and there it is. We have a wave of Lurkers. The Lurkers have arrived. Now we can see that Trappy's throwing down a second Robo and a Stargate, but it's too late. It's too late at this point. Basically, we're getting ready for mass Immortal production and and Sky Toss. We're trying to get ready for that. But again, that was more of an afterthought. Like, Trap was all in earlier. And Solar's maxed out. Bit out of position. Uh-oh. Bit out of position, but the Locust Wave is going to be able to force back the main army. We're going to chase Trap down. That Prism getting so low. Catching an Immortal. Oh my god. Immortal does go down. We're Ravager towards the south. Going for the Stalkers. Trap still trying to force his way in. Trying to, we should say. Lurkers somewhat in position, but they're exposed. Lurkers are on their own. But there's just not enough mortals, not enough on the ground. Yeah, Trap leading out a little bit too much. And Solar, he can push. He's been harassing and he's been splitting up his forces, but now he can consolidate his army and move out across the map. Again, a much more chaotic series and a much more chaotic game, but here Solar is thriving. How many Lurkers do we have? 14! 14 Lurkers. We're pushing in. We have the Locust, the Swarm Host coming in behind this as well. Yeah, within range of the Nexus. Nexus is going to go down. The Swarm Host, they collapse on the main army, forcing out Storms. Yeah, the Storms are baited out. And it's a kill on the third. 14 probe kills as well, and Trap is going for a base trade. It's his only chance. His only way to win this, if at all, is the base trade. And Solar turns around. Does turn around. Trap already in the natural. You can see how short a rush distance this map is. It's crazy. It takes seconds to get into the natural. With Solar, he has made it back home in time. And he doesn't have to engage, just has to defend. Just has to deflect the army. Trap trying to take another base. He's now on a 2-base economy. Barely a 2-base economy. Oof. Focus Wave is coming in. He wants the High Templar. Oh no! The High Templar! We get one! Oh my god, we're gonna get two. Barely gonna get a second one as well. And second High Templar goes down. Massive pickoffs here for Solar. This trap did leave the army a little bit too idle there. Solar moving out. Trap once again threatening a counterattack. Solar has to respawn, and Trap is getting another base up and running. Trap is aware, and yeah, sending out some Roach Ravager. High Templar getting very low, and we clean up the High Templar. Only Immortals remaining. We get a full surround. GG gets called, and Solar will take the series 2-0, taking down a Trap. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Very impressive here by Solar. It was a very aggressive and very chaotic series. Remember, game 1, Solar took a risk and rushed into mass muta, did go unscouted, did go undetected, and Trap was unaware, was caught with his pants down. Here in game 2, we saw that Solar started off with something more chaotic with a hatch block, did lead Trap into Glaive Adepts and DTs, so it was a much more aggressive follow-up out of Trap, which did not pay off. Wasn't able to get the damage that he was hoping for, and Solar was able to shut down that aggression. The game did stabilize a little bit from there, and we saw that Solar was able to embrace those swarm hosts, able to pick Trap apart, and not really allow him to settle into a more robust economy. Did knock down and deny the fourth over and over again. And with that, GG. GG, well played. GG, well played. Solar does advance on to the semi-finals, and let's figure out and catch up on what has been going on in the bracket. Let's go.